Going to finish in good time. And to start us off, I'd like to invite our pastor in the school, Mr. Maingi, to kick us off with a word of prayer.
Asante. Yes, good morning. I say good morning. Oh yeah. Before I pray, I want to bring a disclaimer. So now daktari ametulia and also daktari on this side. Disclaimer ni hii. In the Bible, I hope you are a good student of the Bible. One of the things that the Bible gives also as a disclaimer ni hii. Ya kwamba in heaven, there will be no marrying and getting married. Hakutakuwa na doa. So akina doa ni hapa duniani. Are you getting my point? But when it comes to music, say music. Nasema semeni muziki. Let me try to be a Pentecostal pastor. Say music. The Bible says that music will be a 24/7 thing in heaven. So we are on the right program of heaven. It is only this program that is going to transit from this world to the other world. Lakini akina doa ni hapa. Kwa hivyo in case kuna kitu anafanya akina doa, maliziana nayo hapa. Number 2, sasa hiyo ndio disclaimer nilikuwa nikitoa. Ya kwamba ikifika ni mambo ya akina doa ni hapa. But when it comes to music, it is going to transit. Number 2 that is going to transit on the other world, it is this thing we call that in heaven utatolewa your video. Yaani uonekane kile ulikuwa unafanya duniani. Ile muziki yote ulikuwa unacheza, ile kukatika yote ulikuwa unafanya. So media and music, my friend, you cannot separate when it comes to the other world. So that was my disclaimer. Ya kwamba in heaven, kama vile Biblia inasema akina doa hakuna, lakini muziki na media tunasipeleka huko. So our dear Dean and also the HOD on this side, we are on the right track. Hatujapotea. Wanafunzi wa media na wanafunzi wa music, hamujafanya nini? Abia jirani haujapotea. We, mabackbenchers kule nyuma, abia jirani hujapotea. It is only in heaven where we are going to have a mass choir ya sisi na malaika. I was meditating vile nitakuwa na timu yangu ya uibaji ya malaika. Hawajaisikia sauti zetu. They are going to marvel. Wakisikia vile tunaibaga. Hata kama koo zetu zimekuaragwarwa, tutaiba smart. So it's a good morning and we thank God that you are going to transit these things on the other world. So I want us to take some time and pray. It's a privilege to have this conference. Yesterday was a success. And also today we have started so well. So I want us to take some time and pray so that we may continue. Let's bow our heads for prayer. Father, in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we are here to say thank you for giving us another opportunity to be here at the second day of our conference. Lord, we thank you because of the success yesterday, and now thank you for this day. We want to commit our lives unto you. We want to commit all the events and whatever we are going to do unto you, that God, you are going to guide us, enlighten us, my Father. The Bible says that in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. And so, my Father, we know that there is safety in whatever we are going to take and also to be given by all those who are going to start here, all for the glory and honor of your name. So we dedicate our lives unto you. We dedicate the entire program unto you. Guide us and protect us. And at the end of the day, glory and honor be unto you. In Jesus' name we pray. And I want to hear a big amen. Can you clap for me as I sit down? Mine will be the 5 fuatanyayo. I want to demand it from them. 5 fuatanyayo. So let's start. 1 is a good warm up. Thank you. Let's go 1. 2. Fungulia ni mimi. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maingi. Now that we are fully dedicated and protected, I'd like to invite our Dean, Dr. Michael Ndonye, to invite our next guest speaker.
Yeah, our guest speakers, members of the faculty, students, I am delighted this morning to welcome you to second day. We already began, and yeah, I like Bwana Maingi's issue of that there is music and media in heaven. What most of us know is that there is no beer. There are people, there is that song that I heard some people contemplating that there isn't beer in heaven. So it is not there. That is true. So when all things are lacking, music will be there, and also aspects of media. So thank you very much. I want to be to introduce our next guest speaker. Yesterday we had John Kyalo, who is already with us. Sinua mkono tupigie makofi. Pigieni Bwana Kyalo makofi. Yeah, so he is still with us, and today we have two guest speakers whom I will introduce one by one for them to give their... Yeah, we want to interact with them. We want to interact with people in the industry and scholars, and that is why we are here. So be ready to learn, because this is your forum. And after all, we want to be able to create a new world. So allow me to introduce our guest speaker, Mackinlay Mutsembi. I think I'm doing the pronunciation well. Mutsembi. Yeah, Mutsembi. Yeah, Kyalo would say Mutsembi because there is another Mutsembi on the other side. Yeah, so okay, Mackinlay Mutsembi is a Kenyan trumpeter, event producer, and a visionary in the music industry. He is best known for his break recording endurance and musical mastery. He holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in On January, if most of you can remember, January this year, that was that 1st January, Mackinlay set a Guinness World Record for the longest continuous trumpet performance, playing for 24 hours straight at Nairobi's Gecko Cafe. Would you clap for? I know you did not. That Guinness World Record. Imagine 24 hours trumpeting. Yeah, that's the person who is coming to address us. Thank you, sir. I don't think I can do that even speaking in this microphone. It's a big endurance. So this marathon not only showcased his exceptional stamina and passion, but also turned the venue into a vibrant hub for jazz, Afrofusion, and cultural celebration, featuring collaborations with various talented musicians. Do we have trumpeters in the house? Trumpeter? Okay. Yeah, he set the record. Mackinlay is the founder and director of the award-winning Nairobi Horns Project, an Afro-jazz ensemble renowned for its innovative sound and diffusion of genre including hip-hop, Afropop, and mainstream Kenyan music. Alongside this, he established the Afrolect International Jazz Festival and Afrolect Academy. Mackinlay also curates weekly live music nights at Gecko Cafe. The themed nights have become a dynamic platform for Kenyan artists. These initiatives empower the next generation of creatives in Nairobi by curating immersive musical experiences and providing training opportunities. Students take note of that. That's very important. His career extends beyond performance. Mackinlay is a music entrepreneur. I think we are together there. Although I'm not in music entrepreneurship, I'm into media. An events producer who has showcased his works across the globe. Mackinlay has worked on notable TV shows such as Coke, Studio Africa, and The Live Room Kenya. He has toured extensively and remains influential on both local and collaborations across various local and international music genres, underlying his versatility and commitment to music. Mackinlay's dedication to his craft, entrepreneurial spirit, and mentorship have made him a pillar of Kenyan music scene, inspiring many with his blend of talent, resilience, and vision. So, with the love of Kabarak University, would you put your hands together as we welcome Mackinlay Mutsembi? Yeah. Ni makofi mtapiga vizuri. Asante sana, welcome.
Yes, Kabarak University, mambo vipi? Mambo vipi? In my line of work, I'm hardly ever in a classroom, right? So this is new for me. I speak, but I feel naked without my trumpet. But it's somewhere on the campus. So if I get stuck, I shall send for it. Asante sana for having me, Bonadine. To the pastor who prayed for us, I have warmed up for 24 hours. I heard he said the trumpet shall play for 24/7 in heaven. I'd like to tell you, we've been preparing. Many pastors have been trying to play the trumpet online because the world was to end a few weeks ago, But we're still here, right? So thank you so much for having me here. For the band who was here before me, very, very well done. I'd like you guys to cheer for them again. This took me back to 21 years ago when I was just joining university. And I had a band as well. I had a trio. And I was a saxophonist. And I think I felt like the coolest guy in campus then, right? I'm happy those performances were not recorded because I'm sure they sounded nothing as good as these guys. These guys were. Around for that, Sindio. And there was a lot of worry, if you remember, because our parents had been copy typists. What other profession was there before? A shorthand, Sindio. That the jobs are going away, right? It's like we never learned that the jobs never really go away. The jobs change, right? So my topic, which is AI and the creative industry, opportunities or threats, is just on that. Of course, the first thing I did when I picked the topic is I went to AI and asked it if it's an opportunity or a threat. And AI gave me a quote saying, AI is not a threat. No, it said, AI will not replace you, but someone using it might. AI, I'm going to give my conversation around, because mine is not a lecture, mine is a conversation, which I shall be throwing questions at you guys, and you should answer me. And it's just to, as a user, as a daily user for AI in the creative industry, as a person who uses it every day to do various things, is it a threat? What do you guys think? There was a trumpeter in the house. Trumpeters are brave people. There was a hand in that region. But a trumpeter, Gwabi? Madam Trumpeter, what do you think? Is it a threat? Will AI take away your trumpet gig? She doesn't think so. You guys agree? Another opinion? Someone at the back? Will AI take away, Madam? Will AI improve, possibly, your trumpet playing gig? I'm back to you, Madam. It will not. It will, yes, it will. So AI is, I'm not really concerned about what is AI and where it came from and those things. I'm concerned about the daily use and the potential for AI. So right off the bat, AI is not taking away your job, it's changing your job, right? If I speak from experience, we use AI in so many different parts of our daily work. If you work in studio, now you need AI. If you're streamlining, if you're mixing music, if you're cleaning up your stems, any people who work in studio here? Any sound engineers, mix engineers? No? The students, anyone who wants to do mixing and mastering and sound production in this room? Is there? Okay, right. The lady in black, the one looking back, you over there, what are you studying? Masters in? Music education. Do you use AI? What do you used to do? On the other end, the guy in the red shirt, thank you very much for joining us, right on the third row. Yes. How are you doing, sir? Do you use AI? Okay, tell us.
So as for me, I use AI maybe in a revision or research. Yes.
Okay, so as a study aid, revision, research. So people are using AI to distill information, right? What you will do in 10 hours, you can quickly narrow it down to, 1 hour. And you will still have to do the exam anyway, but it's just quicker, right? So AI is making your work easier. One more person, volunteers or I pick? I like to pick Uko Nyuma. The man standing at the back with a red t-shirt. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I do use AI
Okay.
in my research
Okay.
and studying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are using AI in university for study, which is a good thing, which makes work much, much easier. Okay? I think, and I saw from the program, one of the ethical concerns have been how the training happens and what effect that has on copyright. And I've seen extensive studies on this, and of course, this is an issue even for us. If you know, you guys know Spotify, right? Apple Music, Spotify. And one of the things that when AI came out, and before they could trace this thing, you could do your music via AI and put it on Spotify, and then you could get bots that will then stream your music highly. So it's fake playing, and you get a lot of revenue from that. So they've tried to streamline that. But then at the moment now, the real problem on Spotify is you can have a song by Sauti Sol, sounding like Sauti Sol, but it's not. It's not Sauti Sol. And the question has been, by training AI to master the work of creatives, because AI is trained on creatives, are we helping creativity or are we killing creativity? I'd like to pose this to anyone in the room. This may be my last question before I launch into my talk. As we train AI to adapt and learn creative work, are we killing creativity or are we helping creativity? Anyone? Any volunteers? Yeah, it's a hard question. It's a question that we cannot answer at the moment because on one hand, there's a whole movement that is against AI, and on the other hand, there's a movement that is accepting that it's time, that technology is changing anyway, right? And we can't really do much to change technology. So just like if you remember in the year of our Lord 1999, thank God there was no TikTok and Instagram. The world was supposed to end. For those who are there, right? You guys remember? And people prepared. If you had a big piece of land, what did you do? You sell it and you go underground. And people are waiting, TikTok, that when the clock strikes midnight on the year 2000, something was supposed to, I think the world was supposed to dissolve. Yeah? We were children. We didn't understand why adults were so worried about the world dissolving, you know. But then nothing happened. But then, of course, people said computers will lose data. People say that everything stored in the computer is going to change because at the change of the clock, everything changes. But then nothing much changed. You know, companies crashed, lost stock value as a result of this. People lost their homes. But all these are human factors. And the human being is built, one of the things we have in our software as human beings is caution, or if you want to call it fear. So we're afraid of new things. So AI is relatively new, and people are afraid of it. But then, in terms of the potential of AI, I want to talk about the potential of AI, especially in the creative space as a user of AI. So number one, streamlining work. Okay, it's going to a place now if you're doing, like say even in events work with the right prompts, you get a whole event production scheduled from AI. You get, if you're doing music composition, you get ideas. You guys know that you can write lyrics from AI, right? So pop musicians are using that to write lyrics from AI. Music producers are no longer making samples and beats in the laboratory or in the studio. They're just prompting. You say, give me a song that sounds like Rema, Baby Calm Down. And AI will give you a song that's a template for you to work from. So AI is being used much, much, much more than you think. AI is being used. The one thing that is running the social media space now is and then you go on YouTube, and then every day there's a new video about how you're going to beat the algorithm so you can get more views and more traction, right? So in terms of the search engines that are using AI, in terms of consumption of content from your phones, that's why when you ask about the best pilau in Nakuru, and then after 2 minutes you start seeing what on your phone? The adverts for pilau places in Nakuru. That is AI. Yeah? So all that is artificial intelligence. The potential is huge for AI. The potential is very big. The biggest potential for me, in my opinion, is creatively, it makes the journey shorter. So AI is like a cheat code for people to do things. So even creatively, it makes the journey shorter. But then conversely, are people losing identity because of AI? So if everyone is prompting a song that sounds like this and they get a similar sound, what happens to creativity? To address music is you can feel that pop music sounds exactly the same. Do you guys feel that? Do you guys feel that? Like all the hits that are there, they sound the same. This is because creativity is now how will my song perform before I even write it? So they try to leverage their songwriting, and this is all data that's being done from AI, right? On the African continent, or in the African creative space, the thing that I feel AI has become is become an equalizer because everyone in the world can access it. Moment, as an African creative, you have the same exact tools that people have from all over the world. And that has become a big driving force because in terms of the African market has really exploded as a creative space because Africa still has a lot more to offer creatively than other parts of the world. Africa is still relatively unexplored. So this has come to the fore. The biggest genre in the music right now in the world is? Anyone? Someone said it. Afrobeat. Yes, if you go to a club in Paris, for those who go to clubs, or if you go to a church in Paris, for those who go to churches, the music is the same. So African music has become global. And this now, you now have a place where people in China are trying to make Afrobeat. And how do they do this? In China can prompt and say, can I have a Chinese song about love that sounds like a Nigerian song or Afrobeat? And voila, they have a song, right? So AI is a big driver for the creative industry. AI also is a place to prove your ideas. And when people talk about AI, I think the challenge is people talk about ChatGPT peke yake. Sindio? Any video editors in the house? Okay? Any music producers in the house? Yeah. So, any graphic designers? People who do graphics? So, Canva has become, AI has turned everyone into a professional. Do you guys feel the same way? Yeah. Kitambo, if you had to edit a video, you had to learn how to use. I did an experiment, and you can do this in your free time, and I was trying to create a website, an artist website, in 10 minutes. Okay? If you remember, web design was a thing that people would pay 100,000 shillings for, right? For different types of web design. And I told you I use a lot of AI. So there's a site called Lovable, Lovable.ai. If you don't have a personal website and you sit on it with the right prompts, in 10 minutes or less, you'll have a personal website. Try it today. That's how far it's going, because now even programmers are no longer building apps by coding. AI has made all this easy. So I did a website. I wish I had brought to you guys the whole process. My computer fell. So this is the power. This is the power of AI. If you look at, we said graphic design, the biggest platform in the world is now what? Someone say it? Yeah, it's Canva. So with Canva, you can reduce the mshahara of your graphic designer. Yeah, you can pay them a bit less because you can do some of the things yourself. And Canva, there is more and more AI integration into the tools that can do what you want to do. The challenge, I think, for many people, which maybe you can take from this lecture, is you need to research and create a workflow of different AI components that do your work from start to finish. Social media, right? You need a website. You need a jingle for your products. You need graphics for your pages. Rather quickly. So you will, for example, to 3, the name of the school is, there's a name. The colors we like are earthly tones, brown, gray, and yellow. And we like our logo to have an African outlook. That's a list of prompts, right? When you put that in AI, what happens to you? You get a logo, okay? You refine that and say, make the font a bit Gothic and make the colors a bit more corporate, you know? And you refine, and in 5 minutes, you have your logo. For the Kabarak University School of Music and Media. These are the values, these are the faculties, these are the programs. It will take you another 10 minutes to create a what? A website. How much time is that since we started? 15 minutes. Okay? Next, you'll go and say, now you want to feed your website with templates. Where do you go for your templates? You go to Canva. And you have your thumbnails, and you have your images. Oh, by the way, we didn't do a shoot, so we need to have and he was there just chilling around, and we put his photo, and he comes out in a suit. And then we say we need a virtual tour of Kabarak University. And AI goes to Google Maps, and Google Maps goes to Street View, and they create a virtual tour of this place. This is how businesses are streamlining. This is why you don't need to be afraid. And then we say, oh, we need a theme song for our School of Business, right? We go and prompt and say, we need a song that sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you go to, I think is it Simo or Sonio? I remember that. And will AI do that for you? Yeah, so if you take a week of serious work, for example, with a group of AI experts, you will set up the entire digital identity of the Kabarak University School of Media and Music without having to do photo shoots, without having to come here, as long as you know what you do. Because I could be a fake, right? And I could manipulate a video of the dean saying something unpleasant, and it goes. You guys have seen all those videos on TikTok. Yes, because now you can still kind of pick up, if you know, you can pick up the deep fakes. I could create Kabarak University from my bedroom, right? And do all these things and have people pay school fees to me. Is that possible? Yeah, that's possible. And then I have all these fake teachers that don't exist, and it's a scam. So AI has become very useful as a scamming tool. Validate information. Are we able to fact check? You know, social media has tried to put community notes, and social media said, you know what, we're going to use AI to actually counter check stories, right? If you're on X, formerly Twitter, you know they use, what's the name of the AI on Twitter? Grok, right? A few months ago, Grok went wild. I don't know if you follow that. And Grok just said things it shouldn't say. And they had shut it down, right? And the worry is that now devices are able to communicate between themselves in a language that humans don't understand, right? So the day they decide, the day they decide to do things that we can't control them, we will be in real problems, okay? And I remember, because you can imagine how device failure affects you. I'll give you an example. 2 months ago, I was traveling. I was traveling from France. I was on tour. And then as I was coming back through Addis, it's not morbid. I watch this because professionally, I'm a project manager. I did project management for many years. So before I was into music and arts, I designed systems for businesses and for not-for-profits and for IT. That was my area after campus. So I studied language. I never used it because I could speak it. I went into this other sector, and then the music bug beat too hard, so I left everything and then jumped into playing trumpet because I wanted to be the guy with the gig for the last day. You know, I had read the Bible and they said, the last day. I like the investigation afterwards, because they can even trace and say it was a needle that was in the pizza on the aeroplane that made this aeroplane fall out of the sky. So they have very intense investigation methods. So I like that. So yes, that's one of my bad habits. I watch that thing. Over water, okay. So I was coming back from Italy, and then we get to Addis, and yeah, it was in the morning, and you know how the landing thing happens, and then just as we are about to hit the ground, the landing doesn't happen. The aeroplane powers away and climbs away. I was like, so in my head I'm trying to show off how I know these things. That's a go around. They've executed a failed approach, so they're doing a go around. Okay, first time in my life to be in a go, it's called a go around. So people are panicking, like, relax, the expert. These things happen to planes, So when you climb up, and this is in the morning about 7, and Addis was overcast. It was a very cloudy day. When we get up there and the pilot says, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, we have a problem, and we cannot land because the plane's navigation system is not working. Okay, so there was some panic in the cabin for a bit, but the expert is there, I like, yeah. And as we go down, in fact, we popped over the cloud, we were not over the runway. So we go up again. And there's more panic. Yeah? And some people, my brothers from West Africa, they speak very loudly. And they showed their displeasure in the cabin. Like, these Ethiopians, they want to finish us. Yeah? So in my head, I'm like, guys, relax. Be calm. These things happen. These things happen on flights. So yes, what was happening was, it's true, when you land the plane, you have to, we didn't land on the third attempt. The expert started getting worried because he just realized, whatever happens, the plane must end on the ground in whatever form and shape. At the end of all this, the plane has to be on the ground. When I travel, I'm very antisocial. I don't speak to my seatmate. We had to speak. I asked her, where are you from? She says, I'm coming to Africa for the first time. I'm from, I don't know where, in Scandinavia. I'm like, yeah. And you? I'm from Kenya. Okay. And she said, this looks like it's going to be serious. I told her, yes. Having missed this the third time, this is serious. And we go up again. I kid you not, we missed it the fourth time. We were in the air for 2 hours. Now, 2 hours, now people want to go to the loo. But since we are supposed to land any time, the loos are not. Someone was saying, I will do the thing here. If you don't open that loo door, I'm going to, I can't hold it. So, of course, was I worried? Yes. I was just not showing it, but, people in the cabin, someone was muttering a prayer over there, Others who've been watching Flight Investigation were trying to be cocky and not show people you are afraid, but inside you're very worried as well. We go. So in fact, when he landed, there were some people in the toilet because they couldn't hold it. So, I'm here because we landed, thank God. But the conversation we had on that runway with my neighbor was about AI and machines. After we hit the ground, we said, because the plane has navigation systems that are clearly powered by AI. As it is right now, Airbus is testing a system where the plane can fly by it can take off. Did you guys hear? Yani unaweza enda kwa ndege. And then it gives up the other machines, and then some superhero human being is able to take control back of the machines. What if, because now devices can talk to each other, your smart TV can talk to your dishwasher, if they're from LG. I don't know if you know that. An existential fear that we've had for a long time as human beings because we are driven by self-preservation, right? What if you come to, what if your hospital can talk to your bank and they can send each other money behind your back, You've seen now there's a lot of SIM swapping fraud. I don't know if you noticed that. You have your phone and then someone in Nairobi is withdrawing the money from your phone and you wonder how they have your ID and all those things. It's because technology is advancing and so are the thieves, right? So the fear for AI is that true? Yeah. You get into this contraption, and one of them, they used to push it down the runway and then it takes off. And they were saying, what will happen when this thing is in the air and it falls? That you can't lose a mobile phone. We're still unable to find one plane that went missing. But the bigger picture is, what has flying done for global travel, right? Do the risks outweigh the benefits? Okay? If you had to go back to 1904, about how people were traveling and interacting, the power of flight has changed the world today. You can be here now, and tomorrow morning you're in New York, right? People worried about jobs from factories and the workman's revolution, and we're here today with AI. So, in my conclusion, AI is an opportunity. The issues remain, as we know them. The The opportunity for us, your ability to recount what you've read and bring it back. We had examinations without calculators because you had to work out mental mathematics. 10 seconds. What happens later? We don't need that anymore because math is application. So you have a calculator and it does that for you. You guys are hearing? The world has moved to a place where it's all about skill. It's what you can do that you say you can do. Okay? Education is now shifting from memorizing to application because you can ask AI everything, but still the exam will come and you'll not ask AI to do the exam for you. Somehow they'll still test you. So AI has moved the application wheel even more forward. So schools now have to adapt. They have to embrace AI, but then now they have to adapt and change how they examine proficiency, how we measure knowledge. Yeah, it's no longer about what do you remember from yesterday. Yeah, it's the application of real life problems has become even more important than it was before because information is now available online. Okay? I've learned production, I've learned orchestration. I can write for an orchestra, I can direct your music, I can read music and write music. I've learned different genres from the internet. So my entire career has nothing to do with the papers that I had in school. But music was a passion that has now turned into a job. And this is courtesy of the internet. My biggest tipping point as I come to the end of my conversation is when I decided to become a professional musician. Come and do things on the ground and they have impact. So I was one of those people that was working on the ground to send kids to school for 5 years. And when I had this is for the musicians, I got my first tour, my first gig. Kwanza, I never knew people get paid to play music. I wish I knew earlier. I'd have run away from my job. The day it changed is there was someone who came to our small town in Kilifi. Here Comes the Bride and one other song down the aisle. And at that point, my glorious that figure, I was rich. That was my salary. And I told this man, I'll charge you 50,000 shillings. And I just said, I threw this number expecting him to say, that's too much. And he said, will you take 40? And I was shocked. Like, oh. You know? If he had offered 5,000, I would have taken it gladly because I didn't do music for money. So, and I got that, and you know, I got to that point and I got that gig. So, and many years later, I pivoted to become a full-time musician because I did a study on business modeling in the music industry, right? And this is just studying at the data of how people make money in the industry. So, I think just to wrap up is, AI told me this morning that AI will not replace you, but someone who uses it probably might. Thank you.
Appreciate our presenter better. Thank you. That has been very engaging and very insightful to some of us. I'm going to allow, because actually he was very strategic. He made it a conversation with us. So I am thinking there's not going to be very many questions. Maybe just something to a rejoinder and 1 or 2 questions so that we limit the conversation to 3. So any question, any addition, any contribution to that talk? Yes, Dr. Monte.
Thank you, Mutsembi, for the conversation. And I remember, is it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? I was looking for a trumpet tutor to come and teach Kabarak students. And we had an interaction on phone. But we got busy. So that was me. Now, I've had a problem with AI. And from this conversation starting yesterday, it's I'm starting shifting, right? Personally, I have an issue with AI. But I still want to use I want to approach the university to make the department, the School of Music and Media, to subscribe to particular AI tools that are going to make these students to know how to use them. So my question is, I don't know AI. I've always have a problem. What AI tools will you suggest, because you're in this industry, so that we can approach the university to buy those or to subscribe those AI tools for our students who are in film, theater, music production, and music performance? That will be my question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Even as the presenter ponders about that particular question, and as I look around for any other more, because I would want us to take all of them and then he can just respond. I would also like to take the opportunity to recognize the president. We also recognize the presence of our founding dean, Professor Mellitus Wanyama. Karibu sana. Karibu Daktari Moshere. And all any other? Okay, I will allow you to respond to what Daktari has raised. As we also set up the online for the next presenter. Is there anybody online? Comments but no questions. Okay, let's have the online comment and then we can come back to you.
Thank you. My name is Alphonse, and I have a question. Recently, in 2025 September, Albania just introduced a minister, a virtual assistant called Diela. And we are getting, in as much as we are embracing AI, we get like other people are giving it full autonomy to do everything. So to what extent can we go with AI so that we also get something? Another question is, when I go to buy a painting that is done by someone, I'll probably buy it at a higher price than something that is created with AI. So is it about consciousness or consequence? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Online comment? There was a comment from the online audience. Are we able to hear the comment? The online team? Okay, I think when they are ready, they will let us know. Meanwhile, even as our presenter responds to those, I think, 3 issues that have been raised, I would like the online team to be preparing for the next presenter online, who will be introduced by our Dean, Dr. Indonye.
Thank you so much for those questions. Mwalimu, I look at AI in terms of functions, okay? Because when you look at it in terms of functions, then it goes across different careers even. So for example, of course, the most famous AI is ChatGPT, right? But it's function-based because ChatGPT distills information. It might not do your data, or it might not generate things for you in terms of spreadsheets. I think it can do spreadsheets, but it can't do photos or videos, right? So I look at AI in terms of functions. I will have to sit down and actually, maybe with you for a longer conversation. But when it's function-based, then it cuts across different disciplines. So if you have an AI for making video, it doesn't matter if it's a medical explanation video or it's how to use a keyboard video. It's a function of business. If it's AI that does your accounts, then it can do accounts for everyone. If it's ChatGPT is famous and is loved because it distills information and is, as human beings, we like to ask questions. Kesho tuonane saa ngapi? You want to hear? Saa 2:30. Sindio? You don't want to hear, sasa kesho ukiamka, vaa viatu, alafu ukishatoka, upige kona, alafu nitakuwa hapo nyuma utaniona. You want to hear it straight. When do we meet tomorrow? Let's meet at 2 o'clock. And ChatGPT does that for you. Right? So there's just like there's AI that generates information, this AI that checks facts. Right? And the people who use DeepSeek, they want to go a bit deeper than ChatGPT. So as a faculty, is it a good thing to subscribe to AI? Why not? I mean, they're tools. For me, they're tools that I can't, at this moment in my career, in the evening, I play my trumpet. During the day, I have a full-time job running an events company. I can't live without AI. The way I'm able to do those two things is because the systems that run in the company need me to take very short time to do them. One of the things we do a lot for our company is we do marketing campaigns, right? And for us to create a campaign, we brainstorm with AI, for example. So we can have a long conversation on particular tools. I'm not an AI expert, I'm a user. I'm a daily user of AI. I think every day I feel like I know a bit more about it. But maybe the way should be, are we able to come up with a cause? Because I know these exist online, for example, but a customized thing that actually a student at Kabarak can plug into. You know, that should be maybe the place I can start from. Yeah, I think that's it. For the other question, two heavy questions. Virtual assistant, again, as a career, a virtual assistant has come up as a career because of the internet. And before AI, it was people. So your boss is in the States. And you have to tell them the meetings are this time, and you have to do things for them. You guys know the famous virtual assistants that do other people's homework at a fee? Wink, wink. That's unethical. But it's a whole thing that people have been paying people to do. Homework for them, and Kenya has become a hub of homework doers over the years. And that has been there for a long time. And even those guys are now complaining because now AI is cheaper and is quicker than people who are doing homework for people. And I have a feeling AI has been trained in how Kenyans speak and talk because it has a lot of Kenyanese constructions in it. When I write as a Kenyan, I feel like sometimes you sound very AI-ish. So, my friend, virtual assistant is a role that's important as to at what level do we trust AI? I guess that's the question, right? And what checks and balances do we put in place? You know, obviously, we can't make AI the VC of this place. It's too big a responsibility to be left to a machine or someone who doesn't have, because as much as we might want, AI will never have the soul of Kabarak and the soul of the people in this place like a human being will be. There'll not be any touch, okay? As a human being, you make decisions with empathy and emotion, and I don't think they've trained AI yet. So it would be quite crazy if we had a VC that was virtual, like as an AI thing, as a VC of this place. That would be a problem. So while I can't say to what level, I feel there must be, as we say, there must be within reason some roles, because if you look at it, again, it comes down to, as I said, AI is function. What functions are you happy to leave to AI? Do you want AI to meet the parents? Probably not, right? Do you want AI to organize your grades? Probably yes. So I think as organizations develop systems and policies, because the issue now is the policy, of course, has not caught up with what AI can do. The policy is still behind, you know. Do organizations have policy statements on AI? Do we have frameworks that integrate AI in our policy and in our charts? Do we say, in this place, AI can't go beyond this kind of job? We are not there because people now are kind of feeling it might happen. 2 years ago, it was like, it's a gimmick. Now so people will develop. But then again, policy will catch up. I think policy will catch up. As long as, for me, as long as you approach AI as a functional tool and you decide what function it should play. Does anyone want an AI doctor to operate on them? Heart surgery? Yes, no? And yet, the machine that they use is more precise than the human hand. I don't know if you guys know that. For the closed surgeries, now there are machines that can cut in a way that the human hand cannot, because the precision is exact. But, you know, we are humans, we live once, we like our unreasonable things, and that is what makes life beautiful. And we are not about to say, yes, let AI take over my heart, literally, right? So I feel like policy will catch up with AI, The area now, like the question you're asking me is really a policy question. Is it something we can do? But then, does the policy framework exist for that? I think that's an area of investment at the moment. Thank you very much.
Let us give a better applause for that conclusion. Now we are going to welcome our Dean so that he can introduce the next speaker. The online team, I hope we are set.
Okay, thank you, Bwana Mutsembi, for that wonderful presentation. That's what I can call it. Of course, each one of us is taking home something. Remember, all of us, we are saying that AI is not going to take our jobs. People who know how to use AI are going to take our jobs. No, they are not going to take mine. I'm doing everything in my reach to make sure I catch up with the AI. Myself, I'm a proponent of AI. I have no problem with it. I've used it throughout. From around 2018, that is when I remember I started having interest in artificial intelligence and robotics. And I remember I published my first paper. The most read of my papers in academics is on AI and robotics. And I like it. Professor Geoff Mapaya, you are very much welcome. And thank you for coming again. I hope you have rested and the jet lag is gone. So thank you, Professor. Would you clap for our keynote speaker is with us, Professor Mapaya? No, you are not clapping well. Yeah. Thank you. And also our founding dean, Professor Melitas Nyongesa Wanyama. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Musinyime Professor makofi tafadhali. Nimeongea Kiswahili ili Professor Mapaya asisikie. Oh, but he has heard. Thank you very much. So thank you, sir, and thank you, Professor, for coming. Again, we are honored to have you. And of course, John Kyalo, who is with us, we had recognized him, and now we have had a conversation about AI with Mutsembi. That is the name I can remember because it sounds like Kamba, Mutsembi. Oh, okay, yeah, it sounds like that. So allow me to introduce our next speaker, Ayo Olúrántí. And Ayo Olúrántí studied composition and organ at the University of Southampton, UK, graduating with a first-class honors degree. He also holds a PhD in composition and theory from the University of Pittsburgh. And listen to these introductions because they are very important for you so that you hear what they did and then you can mirror yourself. He was previously chair of the Department of Music at Mountain Top University and is a 2024 recipient of the prestigious From Music Foundation Commission from Harvard University. Having studied to Iragbiji, Osun State. Of course, if you have never read Christopher Okigibo's work, you may not understand these names, the Osun, Okun. But that is it. He applied the theoretical principles and instrumentation of Dundun music in his compositions. On a broader facet, Ayo, who believes in both the traditional and contemporary experimental approaches to music within a postmodernist aesthetic, researches elements, processes, and resources gamete to the musical cultures of the global south for use within its acoustic and electroacoustic compositional language. To celebrate 100 years of the International Society for Contemporary Music, Ayo was commissioned to write the piece Mandave for Vatis Sonora. It was performed in the 2023 program of world premieres by European and African composers under the artistic direction of Lucas Ligeti in Spain and South Africa. Olúrántí was also commissioned in 2022 by Ensemble Recher, that is in Germany, to compose the piece. In a run under the aegis of Goethe Institute, that is in Germany, part of the post-colonial project. His opera, named Amo Agbe, was premiered by the James Madison University Opera Theatre in 2022 as part of the project. That project was entitled Enriching Decolonizing the Opera. Ayo's Helele was premiered at the 2024 World Choir Games in Auckland, New Zealand. Olúrántí, who won the 2019 Morehouse College South Sahara Africa Commission Award in the US, was the winner of the 2009 Donald Sutherland Endowment Fund Composition Competition in the United States. I hope he can hear us. Ayo Olúrántí, can you hear us? The technical team, are we on? Or we have been speaking in Kenya and not in... He is on. He can hear us. We cannot hear him. Yeah, because we need to hear. We need to hear from the audience need to hear. Okay. So I want to make sure he can hear us so that we welcome him with a clap. And we need also to hear his presentation well. Mm-hmm. Sorry, we are just waiting to him to be connected. We want to hear also from the speakers. Thank you. So, Sir Ayo Olúrántí, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Thank you, sir. We can hear you clearly.
All right.
Yeah, we want to welcome you to do your presentation. We've done your bio. I hope you had You heard us as well?
Yes, I did.
Thank you, sir. And we want to welcome you. So, with the love of Kabarak University, kindly let us put our hands together to welcome our guest speaker. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And on the existing protocol, I would also acknowledge the presence of the Dean, the HOD of the music department as well, and the keynote address speaker from yesterday, Professor Mapaya. It's a great opportunity to be here. Almost like, do I want to do this? I haven't listened to Mr. Mackinlay Mutsembi's presentation because obviously we are working on the opposite spectrum in terms of AI application, but all the same, I guess this is why we're here to share our ideas. I will dive straight into my presentation without. I hope I can share my screen. Yes, I can share my screen. I can share sound. So here we go. Selection. Yeah. So the title of my presentation is Evaluating AI Compositional Tools Through African Pianism, a comparative study of human and machine creativity. Introduction. As machines now compose, improvise, and imitate human musical styles with impressive fluency, questions of authorship, agency, and authenticity have become pressing. This presentation explores the capability of AI-driven compositional tools to create works within the art music idiom and through an Afrocentric theoretical framework, specifically African. I composed the piano work titled Ewe Ayu as a study in African pianism, using musical elements and processes derived from African traditional music. I then tasked several AI systems with the same creative objective, evaluating how machines compose, what is composed, and whether they can embody structural and cultural intentionality comparable to human creativity. This inquiry naturally raises the question, why examine the human-machine dialectic through the lens of African pianism? Abiola Irele once observed that when African composers are not writing within the Western tradition, they seem unable to produce works that are idiomatically African. Much of African art music indeed remains derivative of Western idioms, a legacy of colonial influence. This aesthetic inheritance was challenged by Akiuba and Kwabena Nketia. Uba lamented that even when African composers employed indigenous elements, their works often conformed to European ideals to such a degree that the African elements were overshadowed. Nketia urged that we should rethink our trade. In that rethinking, Uba introduced African pianism in the 1960s, later describing it as a concept and a way of composing piano music using African models. Both Uba and Nketia, followed by Mackinlay and Joshua Zogwe, advocated for a new African art music founded on traditional African musical elements. yield an Afrocentric creative output. It focuses specifically on art music, works conceived through intentional theoretical and structural design, asking whether machine creativity can rise beyond mere sound generation to engage composition as a structural and cultural act. African pianism is the percussive use of the piano to symbolically recreate the texture, rhythm, and expressivity of African traditional music without employing indigenous instruments. Its essential ingredients include thematic repetition and variation, direct borrowing of rhythmic or tonal material from traditional sources, percussive treatment of the piano, making the piano behave like African instruments. Through these techniques, African pianism transforms the piano into an idiomatic African instrument, an expressive bridge between European technology and African musical thought. The piano work, which I composed, was conceived using two paradigms of creativity: human and machine. Human composition. The human creative process unfolded through three interdependent stages. First, pre-compositional framing, which is a conscious craft. The theoretical framework was created, defining musical elements inspired by African traditional music. Secondly, the composition itself, which is a conscious and a combination of conscious and unconscious crafts. Sketches involved organically from the framework, guided by performance experience and inner hearing. Theory and intuition interacted to yield a coherent musical argument. Then thirdly, verification, listening, analysis, and revision. These ensured internal coherence, expressive unity, and technical playability. The process exemplified how planning, intuition, and verification transform theory into artistry. For the machine composition aspect, 3 AI systems were examined: Aiva, Musicful, and Notogen. In actual fact, I considered more than 3 AI systems. I worked with about 12 to do this project, but I'll be focusing for the purpose of this presentation on just 3. Of this, Aiva and Musicful could generate versions of Area U using the reference piece, while Notogen, based on a large language model, did not support influence-based learning. All 3 are neural systems trained on massive music datasets. Aiva and Musicful perform style conditioning, learning from audio MIDI input, while Notogen performs prompt conditioning, responding to textual cues such as romantic, Chopin, keyboard, and so on and so forth. In essence, while the human composer relies on reflection and intuition, these systems translate data correlations into generative patterns, producing music that is statistically informed, but not consciously intended. Now, backing up a bit, I have to talk about the basic compositional framework for Area U. The creative goal of Area U was to craft a piano work that embodies the structural principles of African traditional music as its compositional creed, evokes the improvisatory character of African percussion ensembles, particularly the Yoruba Dudu ensemble, where the master drummer integrates speech, song, and the rhythm, alternates between song and drum notes, drawing thematic material from 2 Ekiti folk songs, employs repetition with variation within a call and response framework, develops linearly through fragmentation, mirroring the logic of master drumming, preserves modal and pentatonic pitch structures, minimal harmonic movement, and non-accentual metric organization, explores binary oppositions, soft versus loud, thin versus thick texture, to generate contrast and form. All of this form the basis of the framework for the composition of this piano work. At this point, I would like for us to listen to this work as composed humanly. Can you hear this?
Not yet. Not yet.
Please let me know if you can hear. This is already playing.
No,
Cannot hear.
Doctor, you have to share the sound with us.
We can't hear it. Share the sound.
Not yet. Not
Here.
yet.
Can you hear now?
Not yet. You have to share the sound of the computer.
Start sharing again. Sorry?
Hello, doctor. You have to share the sound of the computer with us.
Yes, I'm at the share page. I've clicked on share sound.
Then you select stereo.
Recording in progress.
Again. Is it playing back now?
Not yet.
Serious.
Okay, it seems to be sounding now, but no, that stopped again.
Play it through another means.
Hello, Dr. Olúrántí. On your computer screen, that place where you have 3 dots in a circle, after sharing your screen already, then you go there, you go to sound and do share computer sound and select stereo. That's where we can hear you, your playback.
Recording in progress.
I've shared it. I'm using stereo high fidelity. Can you hear anything? No.
We can't hear it now.
themselves.
Dr. Olúrántí, I suggest maybe if you send the video via Zoom, we can play it from our end here.
It's one of the technical team members. You can check. I'll send. I'll attach it here as well.
Recording in progress.
We are trying to download the video.
Okay.
Protokol hizi sasa, bwana, hii stima yetu mina
Hello, Doc. We have several files here, so which one do we play? Can you hear me, Dr. Olúrántí?
Can you hear me?
Yes, so we have several files already downloaded, so which one do we
Yes,
play?
I said the one that starts with 8.
Let us union, we also come on.
Pianism study number 1 video. That's the file. Able to download.
We are sorting it out. Very soon we will be able to play it.